Hi, everybody. It's your pal Izzy here. Welcome to another effing podcast. Got a great show recorded with Tiffany last week. So this is a pre-recorded show, obviously, because you did not get a live link. But we did it in studio here, and it was glorious. So please enjoy everything that's coming up with me. If you are curious, I am not going to be at Rockin' Pod. But if you are there, please check out Rare Hair. If I was there, of course, I would be hosting that. And check out the Punchlines and Backlines show with my co-producer, Courtney Cronin-Dold. The comics will be Don Jameson and Craig Gass, and the special musician will be the one and only Eric Martin from Mr. Big. Wish I could be there, but unfortunately I can't. It is what it is, but look for news very, very soon on the next Vegas show. Yeah. Got somebody great lined up for that. Monsters of Rock Cruise is coming up at the end of April. So obviously I'm very excited for that. I always am. And if you are going to be on the cruise and you are a guitar player or a drummer or a bass player or a singer and want to get up and play, the Cruiser Jam will be Aerosmith this year. So check out that page on the Facebook, Izzy Presley's Monsters of Rock Cruiser Jam. There's a group as well. And then keep your eyes peeled for the set list and sign up times. So I already got some great artists lined up already. Hopefully it works out schedule-wise, and that shall be glorious. So anyways, it is Valentine's Day. Why not have one of the pop princesses of the 80s talking about her brand new record, talking about her food, talking about her new venture into wellness. She's getting all healthy and stuff too. So great interview. Tiffany's always great, good friend of mine, and please enjoy.
Truly a sight to behold. The man beat the once great champ, now a study in muffishness. No longer the victory-hungry stallion we've raced so many times before, but a pathetic, washed-up, aged ex-champion.
All right, let's go.
I think you know the guy. And I think you know him pretty damn well. His name is
Izzy Presley.
Izzy Presley.
Izzy Presley.
Izzy Presley.
Izzy Presley. Izzy Presley. Izzy Presley.
What's my name? Say my name, bitch!
My good friend, Izzy Presley.
Izzy Presley.
Izzy Presley.
Izzy Presley. Ouch!
Izzy Presley. Whoa, that sounds a little weird.
Izzy Presley.
Izzy Presley.
Izzy Presley, the heaviest, girthiest rock DJ around.
Hey, this is Jeff LeBar. You listen to Izzy Presley. Those aren't pillows!
Hello, Las Vegas. Hello, world. Hello, my loyal minions. It is good to see you, and it's always good to be seen. I'm Izzy Presley, and this is another effing podcast. If you do like the show, make sure you go and follow on the YouTube, the Izzy Presley Network. You can find it there, and of course, you know, the show pages and all that stuff at Real Izzy Presley, all the way across the board, Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. Facebook show pages at Another Effing Podcast. And of course, if you do enjoy the show, you want to contribute, you want to help, it's very, very easy. Venmo, Real Izzy Presley, CashApp, $ Izzy Presley, PayPal, izzypresley@yahoo.com. I also do accept large bags of cash.
Of course.
Smoke signals. You know, you don't want to get up on that.
Get up closer.
Yeah, get up closer on it. And I love doing this in studio again. It's been so long. And my good friend Tiffany is back.
Hello,
I think it's your
everybody.
fourth appearance.
I think so.
It's the fourth because
But in the new Vegas location, the
number
first
one, the very first one. And I'm going to tell you, I listen to a lot of Casey Kasem's.
Oh, I love Casey.
It doesn't warm my heart any more than when you pop up or Billy Vera pops up or like Olivia pops up because, you know, Olivia. And then of course, you know, Debbie, because she would dig me. But that's another story. I learned something that I did not know about you from the great Casey Kasem.
All right.
You were the very first female teenage artist to have a #1 album in the country.
Yes.
I did not know that.
Oh, I wear that badge very well.
As well
I don't,
you should.
I don't usually throw that out there, but yes, my fans remind me today actually could have been with #1 today.
Oh, really?
Yes, it's that little celebration today.
Wow,
But
yeah.
again, my fans send me all this stuff.
Of course.
Congratulations. I'm like, thank goodness you guys remember. And I can't remember last week. So
No,
I really love them.
I barely remember my real name. Don't
Pretty
feel
much.
bad,
There
don't
you
feel bad.
go.
So you are in town. You have a lot of stuff going on.
I'm
And so this
busy.
actually, it worked out perfect that you're in town right now because you
Yes.
just announced a new tour.
I did. Yeah. We just announced all the Shadows tour. All the links, all the venues, all the meet and greets, all that stuff is coming. But as we were talking last night at dinner, Izzy, you just got to get started. Now with all the tours and all the excitement going on, and after COVID and everybody just in social media and your 30 seconds of interest and then on to something else,
Yep.
you got to fight for your space. So I just announced it yesterday. And of course, my social media and
Of
all my
course.
publicists are like, "What are you doing?" I'm getting them excited is what I'm doing. So of course that blew up my phone this morning. So
Yeah, of
all
course.
kinds of Zooms today, and
Nice.
the rest of the week's coming to the April. Well, April 14th is the first day.
Nice. And the album has been out for 2 months.
Yes, right. Yes. 2 months. What are we, February now already? Yes,
Yeah,
it
no,
aired.
no,
It came out right before Christmas.
Okay.
Yeah.
So just about 2 months. And I was talking to my co-host on the Metal Edge show, Paul Gargano, about this. Do you think too much weight is put on the pre-sale?
I do. I mean, I love it. Of course, my label
Mhm.
wanted to do it. I love Deco. They're, you got to try.
Yeah.
But I do think so. I mean, again, you release something in today's climate, there's so much going on that you could look at social media and your posts and go, I feel good, I feel bad, I feel
Yep.
good, I feel bad. So it's the same thing when you release records or singles or videos or anything. You just got to go for it. You'll find
Right.
your tribe. Our pre-order did really, really well, but there was a little mix up because we have a great pop-up, which is more interactive, I call it.
Uh-huh.
It's got 3 different pictures you can spin around so you can change. I mean, I want to do something that was kind of fun, origami, and kind of artsy. So I haven't done that before. And that is what we call the pre-order. But unfortunately, somebody put just the flat vinyl up there. So it was like, no, these things, I mean, again, people make mistakes,
Right.
but
Right.
it kind of shortened the pre-order a little bit,
Mhm.
but we're circling back. I'm going to have all the actual pop-ups with me on the road. So you can still buy them
Nice.
there, and I'll be able to sign them right
Yeah,
there
yeah,
for
yeah.
you. So we're making, lemonade out of lemons, I guess, fixing it a bit on the road.
Yeah, you do what you can. No, the album is called Shadows. Like I said, it is available everywhere.
Yes.
Now you had some input from LA Guns.
I do. It's continuing. Yeah, we were so excited that in COVID, last track we did Keep on Swinging
Mhm.
from Rival Sons. I'm a Rival Sons fan. And that was actually Mark Alberici, my everything and producer, his idea. And of course, he called Johnny Martin. He's been friends with him for a long time. Ace Von Johnson,
Yeah.
Scott Coogan,
Yeah.
to come to Sunset Sound and record with us. And Tracy Guns heard it and wanted to play on it. So
Oh,
I've
Jesus.
got all of LA.
So you got
Guns
LA
now.
Guns without Phil.
I mean,
You were Phil Lewis.
it's amazing. So I was like really shocked that Tracy would do that, and again thrilled. It
Yeah.
sounds amazing.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
mean, it's better than I ever imagined. And that was the last track that we recorded right before we really shut down
Mhm.
for COVID. So because we were ready for the album,
Mhm.
pretty much everything was ready except for that track. So now we're all rocking. We start again April 14th. I know LA Guns has some tour dates, so we'll just kind of work around that because I use Scott and Johnny on
Yeah.
the road with me.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah. Well, I think Scott's with Piercy now.
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he's doing a couple other things and some independent projects. I
Yeah.
know he's been recording in the studio. I think everybody now you have to do what you love. You have to just
Exactly.
go out there and be in the studio and write new things. Mark and I have a home studio in Nashville, and we're writing for other artists and doing some dance stuff. And I was telling you, I'm getting into holistic healing,
Yeah.
everything meditating and Reiki and all of that. So we're going to have some little Zen tracks as well. Just having fun in the studio.
Yeah, dude, that's what it's all about.
Yeah.
But and I listened to the record. I thought it was really good. And I did notice a real rock edge
Yes.
to the album. You're kind of pushing that rock
I'm
envelope a
pushing
little bit
it. I
harder.
keep pushing people.
Yeah.
This started a while ago, like before Color of Silence. So 2003, I think it was, Billboard said one of the best albums of 2003. That was Color of Silence. And that was really me coming out as a songwriter.
Yeah.
Although I had been writing before, but like the real, here I am, I'm a valid artist, like it or whatever. I'm going to stay around.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm going to do me, and I'm going to just grow as an artist and, believe in my craft, believe in myself, and believe in, this is why I was created. And I, that was kind of the beginning. And then I met Mark, and I think I had already stepped back from that because Color of Silence it opened a lot of doors. And then somehow it kind of got back to, oh, well, you should do dance stuff. And I love all of that. I love performing, don't get me wrong. But, it was always my dream again to be more in front of a band, writing my own songs, more rock edged. When I met Mark, we were doing A Million Miles, which was kind of a stripped down acoustic singer songwriter show. Because again, I was connecting the dots. So many venues were, leery to book me because they didn't even know if I could sing.
Right.
We kind of did that again in my career. So I thought, well, I'll put a small band together and go out and just pound the pavement and show them I have the chops. And then I interact with the crowd, and it'll be great for the fans, and we'll start there. And then that's when I met Mark, and he was like, well, who told you couldn't do this? And I was like, I like you already.
There
Exactly.
You go. There you go.
But it starts with the music. Because, you can talk shit, but if the music isn't there and you don't bond on the music, then it's not meant to be. And we started writing songs, and it was just meant to be.
Do you find it tough or have you even gotten past the point of not giving a fuck about people not taking you seriously because of your history, because you were the quote unquote mall girl, and your hit was a cover.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I mean, I care. Of course, I still care, but I don't let it limit me.
Right.
At this point, I just, again, I have to do music, especially after COVID, so much change, not just the financial aspect and how scary everything was and the world changing, but to not be able to sing, to not be able to go out and do a gig. I've been doing that since I was 9 years old.
Yeah.
So for me, that really freaked me out. I started Let's Food with Tiffany. I started cooking.
Yep, we're gonna get there.
So that was a little bit of a save mentally for me. Yeah. But that scared the shit out of me. And I just want to play shows now, from acoustic to small pubs in England and Germany. We're tapping into that this year. And it is strategic. People go, why are you doing small pubs? Because I need to reconnect to the fans. I haven't been to Germany in many years. So you start small, and then it builds into something. And that's how I believe. I believe in those organic experiences, reconnecting with the fans, showing them what you got. And hopefully they get, addicted and want to continue the ride with you.
Yeah. Well, there's something about those small club gigs, it's just that, just the intimacy, knowing that you're seeing this artist, with 200 other people, if that.
I mean, it's a one of a kind show. When you get into the bigger productions, you've got cues, you've got lightings. I mean, the live show, we're not doing too much of that, but there are going to be some places where I go off and change clothes now. A little more glamour, a little more, bring a little more Tiffany. And now, especially with the band show, and we've got the screens going and just a little bit more of a polished show. But I love the intimate stuff. I really do. I love that because it really is one of a kind, and you can kind of go off script, if you will.
Yeah. Yeah. So you are in town because you just did a show on Saturday night.
I did.
It was Saturday night, and it was like a food thing. Now, please explain what this exactly was, because I mean, I saw the photos and I saw the hype leading up to it.
Right.
And I sat here on Saturday night going, that looks,
what is she?
That looks like it would be fun to be at. I had to bust you. I have to bust your ball. I gotta bust your balls.
This was my first one, so my head was in the clouds. I really was excited.
Excuses.
Sorry. I wasn't really my show. I was invited to come to Vegas by Chef Alicia.
Okay.
Here in town. She's a celebrity chef. And it was an actual mutual friend that said, I see that you're cooking. tell me about that, girl. And I was like, well, I do TIFF takeovers. I go into small venues, small restaurants, zhuzh up one of their signature dishes, or they serve one of mine. And it is that intimate evening, food and music.
Yeah.
And we were doing it in COVID along, outside on the beaches of Florida.
Yeah.
That's kind of how I got my start a little bit. And then I thought, I love this. Let's keep going. So it's, got its own life now.
Yeah.
And he introduced me to Chef Alicia here right away. I mean, I talked to her like on a Friday, and by like Monday, she was like, so I've got a venue and I'm hoping that you'll do a show with me and a pairing. I was like, oh yes, I will.
Okay.
We've been quick buddies. I love her. And so she decided to do a show at the Space, which is not a place that you normally serves food.
Mhm.
So we did something different. We broke ground there.
Yeah.
And she brought all the food and we paired the menu together, more of my Lebanese roots.
Okay.
Knocked it out of the park. I didn't do any of the cooking that night, although like I said, I worked on the menu with her.
Okay.
Tried the menu at home. So I didn't know what the food tastes like. And then that day I was like, do you need me to chop? Do you need me to do it? She's
Yeah.
like, I got this. And I'm like, I feel left out, but okay. And she was like, no, just work on the music part of it. So that's what we did. And I just kind of on this one, just rolled with it a little bit. But all the exposure that I've gotten from her to be able to talk to all the culinary magazines.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Food and Wine magazine. It was, again, it's just a great opportunity. So I'm glad it happened. We're
Right.
quick friends. More things to come in Vegas now.
Yeah.
It really broke a lot of ground for me. So I'm smiling.
So no, you obviously it's something you want to do more of. I mean, it sounds like a
definitely.
great thing. Now, are you going to do it now with your dishes?
These are going to be, well, I'd love to, still pair with a few chefs.
Yeah.
Do some more things with a Chef Alicia. We're doing a cookbook now.
Yeah,
So
you
I
are.
know I
That's
will
right.
be
Is that
back.
is that breaking news right now? Or?
That is breaking news,
Okay,
guys. Yeah,
okay.
we're doing a cookbook. I think we announced it at the show.
Oh, okay.
But I was, I'm very bold.
Yeah.
But then
You
ask
bold?
other celebrities or people I'm very bold, but to ask other celebrities, to do something, I get a little overwhelmed. Like Tracy Guns, I would
Yeah.
never have approached him. It had to come natural. And then when I found out, I was like, because inside I was going, well, maybe there's an opportunity. Maybe if he hears it. And I was like feeling that way about Chef Alicia. Well, maybe we could do something as a cookbook. I would really like that opportunity. And I was driving home in Nashville and, 2 days before flying out here. And I thought, it's a new year. It's a new time. You just got to ask.
Yeah.
And so I asked her, I said, would you be interested in doing a pairing in a cookbook with me? And she was like, I would be honored. And that's it. We're off and running. So
That's awesome.
I'm getting there, getting more brave.
Well, you've always dabbled in the cooking stuff, but
Always,
over
yeah.
COVID, I noticed it really kicked it up a notch.
I did. I mean, I missed my family like everybody.
Yeah.
My family's passed on. And I felt like I just wanted to be with my dad. I wanted to, hear my grandmother's voice. I felt so, I was with my family. My sisters are down the street and Mark was there with me, but there was just that sense of like missing something.
Mhm.
And I started cooking my grandma's dishes. They gave me a lot of comfort. Southern dishes, lots of
Oh,
gravy,
yeah.
mashed potatoes, old school guys, and sharing it with the fans. And then we were having fun creating, dishes together. So I started the cooking club and thought, well, if you want to do that, Zoom with me, you get to go all over the road with me, all over the world, literally, because it has to roll. Anything I do has to go with me.
Right.
I travel and,
Yep.
music is my main event and what I love so much and more passionate about. But adding all of these other things really work. So now we're going to have, TIFF takeovers along with the Shadows tour,
Mhm.
where you can come and, wine and dine with me a little bit pre-game
Yeah.
before the show.
So the food thing, I mean, that's a Patreon. Is that a Patreon thing?
That's not a Patreon. That's a Let's Food with Tiffany thing. So the cooking club is $15 a month.
Okay.
You can be
Okay.
a
So
part of the cooking club.
it's basically
You get all
kind
my
of a Patreon
recipes.
type thing.
Yeah.
It's not Patreon.
You
Yeah.
get all of my recipes, the only place that I put my recipes, and you get to Zoom with me. You get to hang out with the band if we're on the road.
Yeah.
Because I'm always cooking for the band.
Right.
I might be cooking on the side of the road. You never know what's going to happen, but there will be cooking. And usually right now it's at my home.
Right.
And I don't really do that on any other social media platform.
Mhm.
So I keep that very special
Yeah, that's
in
cool.
the studio and stuff like that. My Patreon is more my fan club.
Okay.
And that is specials on merch and especially the tour. You're going to get specials and special meet and greets that other people don't get. And just, I'm trying to make everything unique and a special experience that you'd want to be a part of that.
Right. And you're doing cameos now too.
I'm doing cameos. Especially right now, it's about to be Valentine's Day. So I'm
I
very,
don't know what that
very,
is.
very.
I have
Well, apparently it's a big day.
Apparently,
But I'm doing them now and I like them. Again, it has to roll with me. Sometimes I feel bad because I'm not at home with a big set and the proper lighting. I do have that at home. But if I'm on the road, you're going to get me at the airport, guys. You're going to get me walking.
Yeah.
I love to walk wherever I'm at. So now I say little quotes or something positive. I sing. It's kind of whatever, you request, but also I give you a little bit of something of me that was happening that day for me.
Right.
Yeah.
It's so weird though. It's like, because now with social media and the internet, there's so much access now. It almost takes the mystique out of being a celebrity. You know what I mean? Because
it does a little bit. I mean, I feel torn sometimes now. That all of these avenues remain special.
Right.
Because if you kind of cross pollinate or just throw them into one, it's like, well, why would I want to pay for that?
Right.
So I'm kind of like a stickler about it. I'm like, nope, that goes in that category.
Mm-hmm.
That one goes there. And again, my publicist is like, just do it, girl. But I'm like, no, if I was going to pay for something, I want that to be special. So the cooking club, they always know everything in the cooking world firsthand, cookbook stories, things like that. My thoughts, recipes, meeting of chefs, Zooming. Now I'm doing, I'm becoming you. I'm doing my first interviews with celebrities about their favorite recipes.
Oh, that's great.
And what's current in their life. It's 15 minutes. Started off with my girlfriend, Jade Starling from Pretty Poison, fellow redhead. And moving on every month, I'll have a celebrity guest on Let's Food with Tiffany.
That's great. We'll talk about that off the air because I actually had some kind of idea about that. I'm just going to let you have it because there's no way in hell I'm going to be able to, I'll be able to pull it off. But dude, I just love that you're just so out there, it's just so great.
Thank you.
Yeah. I did want to ask you this. So we talked about Casey Kasem before.
Yes.
What was it? Is it how I am? I'm all over the place in these interviews.
Yes.
You obviously can look. I have no script in front of me. I have no questions. I
love it because it's just
I have
natural.
one thing written down. Shadows. That's the only thing I have written down.
That's the main thing that matters.
What was going through your head the first time you heard Casey Kasem say your voice or say your name?
Well, that I made it. I mean, that was it. That was the big validation.
There's one thing about hearing your song on the radio for the first time, but when Casey
comes on, that's it. I remember the first time that I heard Casey Kasem mention my name and my chart position and tell a little story about, the girl from Norwalk, Lebanese background, because he was Lebanese, all of that. They tell the little stories and I loved his voice. So that was a cool moment. I think the best moment for me when I thought, I think I'm making some strides here, was traveling around with my mom. We were going grocery shopping in the family car. It wasn't a great car. It was like, all primered out or something.
Oh yeah, of course.
And I think Orlo Now came on in Norwalk. And that's when I thought, rocking to my song at my hometown and going to the grocery store.
Yeah. Well, it's weird. It's like you are the only person that I personally know that Weird Al did a version of your version of the song. How do you remember how that came? Did they contact you?
They don't contact you. I think he just does it. But again, that's like, that's cool. That's like, and it was funny. I mean, I love Weird Al. I've met him many times. He's always been really nice to me. But it was like another thing. You go, made it.
Yeah. Well, like I said, it's like, there's one, okay. You hear your song on the radio. You hear Casey Kasem say your song. You made it when Weird Al takes your song.
Yeah, definitely.
What'd you think the first time you heard it?
Oh, I laughed. I totally laughed. I loved it, but I wanted to see him sing it live. I don't think I've ever seen him sing
Really?
live. No. I have to
Man.
look. I'll probably have to Google.
I've seen him I've seen him God, 3 or 4, 5 times over my life, and I don't know if
I don't think he's ever really maybe performed it live. I would rely on the fans to tell me that one because I'd have to Google it, like I said. But
Yeah.
I know during that time it was released, I never saw him. I kept waiting for that.
right.
And I
right.
did some shows with him, you know,
Oh,
the
really?
multi-shows, radio
Yeah.
shows, all that back there. And he was on them and I never saw him
You want
perform
to talk
it.
about a badass? If you've never seen Weird Al live,
He's cool.
dude,
Yeah.
100% live.
Yeah,
That
he's cool.
band is so
Yeah.
freaking good.
He's good.
Wow.
It's been a while, but yeah, he was and the energy. He's
Yeah.
got really this infectious energy.
Yeah, it's like that. It's that show that's because usually when it's a show, there's some shit going on, where it's not all legit and
Yeah.
real. And when he can pull it off,
He just
that's
does his thing.
How do you feel about that? People using backing tracks?
Well, I can't really say anything because now I'm using some,
Right.
but before it was always just live. I've
Yeah.
never really done Pro Tools with my voice.
Right.
So there's that. I'm
Right.
still not doing that. So there's that. I didn't even know that happened live, to be honest with you, until I went to a country show. Sat
Really?
behind the board and I was like, what's all those happening? And a good friend of mine who does a sound for a couple artists there, he was like, that's live Pro Tools. And I was like, oh, what? And he's all shh. But I didn't even know that existed.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
don't
yeah.
use that.
Yeah.
I don't really use it too many in my records. Thank you. But I think there's room for everything. For shadows, there are so many moving parts
Mhm.
that we have to have the tracks on
Right.
there
Now, so
to
how
trigger other things.
now,
But
like,
and there's some
yeah.
background voices on there. But I am still live and
Yeah.
the only voice. I
Yeah.
make it or break it. If I'm not
Right,
singing,
right.
you're missing your lead
Yeah.
vocal.
Well, like I'm in that point where it's like, if there's shit that if you're not going to bring a keyboard player for one song,
Yeah.
that kind of stuff. And
Well, we have a lot of strings. So
yeah, exactly.
there you have that.
And you're not going to bring an
A
orchestra.
lot
on
of
the road.
keyboard parts,
Yeah.
and it would just, I have the 80s stuff that were heavy on the keyboards,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
we're not doing a lot of those songs. I always do Could Have Been, and I always do I Think We're Alone Now.
of course.
I'm not too sure I'm even going to do I Saw Him Standing there on this set. 'Cause
Really,
Shadows is just such a great body of music.
it is. It really
And
is.
the fans are so primed for it that I think we're just going to stretch out a few of the other retro things.
Mhm.
I've got one surprise retro that I don't normally put in the set that we're doing.
Okay.
So kind of updating that for the fans who haven't come, or have come to some of the shows and they see Could Have Been, and I Think We're Low Now, and they haven't seen Shadows, but I wanted to throw maybe one retro from old school there, kind of
Yeah.
string it out, something a little different.
You got to throw those gems in there every
You
once in a
do.
while. It's like, because obviously then if you're doing the same set every night,
Yeah. Well, that's the
yeah,
thing. I
here
mean,
we go. Let's do this again.
yeah, I want, well, it's not just for me, but I want my fans to be able to go, oh, wow, she's upgraded the show.
Yeah, absolutely.
Wow, she's taken Could Have Been in a different direction.
Mhm.
Or, I think we're low now. They tricked it out and did something different with it. So we've got some special things planned
Mhm.
there.
And then now we go back to the record again. Like I said, my ADD. I'm all over the place. So you started. When did you start writing the record? When it was like, okay, this is time to do another record. Let's clamp it down.
2019.
So it was 2000.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As
Okay.
soon as Pieces of Me was finished, it was like, well, what do we do now? We've gotten a lot of traction, especially in the UK.
Mhm.
Let's keep it going. Let's
Yeah.
not stop now.
Mhm.
I was doing the New Kids on the Block tour, so that kind of was great. It was great exposure.
Yeah.
But for what I was doing in the UK, we had to come back to America. But we used that time to start writing Shadows,
Mhm.
and then finished it late 2019.
Well, so you're writing your own stuff, which is phenomenal.
Thank
And Mark obviously as well. How does your writing process go? Does it start with a lyric? Does it start with a riff? Does it start with a melody? I know it's weird. 'Cause everybody's different.
Yeah. I mean, I don't really have a specific style.
Yeah.
I could be literally having coffee and I just hear a melody. I don't play an instrument. I play a little piano, which I'm too embarrassed to show anybody, but I know what works. I'm musically
Yeah.
inclined up there. So I'll sing the melody into, my voice notes on my phone and then live with it for a little while. And then usually I start hearing all that stuff and then I share it with Mark and it becomes a song or it's an experience. I walk away from something and go, oh, that's a great line. Or that experience led to a title, might even be a full, paragraph or verse. And then it just starts haunting me a little bit. And it turns into a song. And then sitting with the boys, definitely, it really starts to solidify itself.
Oh, you say you don't play any instruments. You diddle with the piano a little bit. Why did you never learn an instrument?
Don't know. It was very difficult for me. But, I opened my mouth and my voice was there and that's it. But I thought I would be a guitar player. I really suck. Bought a lot of guitars.
So do I.
Never happened for me. But piano, I love piano and I still want to learn. I've taken many lessons in piano, but it's practice. It's not something that comes natural for me, like vocals.
Right.
And for some people, it does. Some people, they just, my best friend is Japanese and she just sat down at the piano and literally knew what she was playing. It was really odd when she was a little girl. So her mother in Japan said, well, I'll give you lessons now because you seem to be having this natural gift. And she plays beautifully.
That's so. Do you think that if you did learn how to play piano, that would help you?
I do. I'd be even more of my powerhouse. I'd be like, come on. No, I want to learn. I want to learn as a songwriter more. I want to learn as highlights in the show. I think it'd be really great for me to go over and play Could Have Been Myself. So these are things that are still on my goals, my list of goals to do. This year, I think I'll have more time. I mean, even before COVID, we did so much touring. I've been primarily a touring artist, especially for like 4 years straight. This year, little different, clustered. Some of the shadow shows will do runs, and then I'll do some of the cooking stuff. But I also want to be able to take, some of these opportunities that are given to me, like the cookbook, some me time, but also just, again, some artist time where I feel like I can breathe and kind of recheck myself, make sure I'm giving the best. You can get overwhelmed, you can get burnt out. I always love what I'm doing.
Yeah.
But you're a physical person. You're human, and it gets tiring to be out on the road. So I think the way that I've done it this year is so different for me, but I'm going to give it a try. I think it will do well for me to kind of have these clusters and go back home for a couple of weeks, rejuvenate, do some other things, adjust on the tour, some of the packages if we need to. And also be able to go back into the studio and, and on the road, I think that I'll have some time to, like, my old keyboard player took a keyboard with him. And he was just always in the van playing. So I think I can learn this year.
I think you should. I really think you should. I know we got to wrap up because I know you have another thing at 5:30. It's coming up. And
you should go in and make that cookbook.
Oh, see, there you go. That's more important.
You got to
than
get
this.
on it. This is what I'm doing. Don't let it lag. You got to go for it.
This goes back to the cooking thing and the food thing. You are getting yourself healthy.
I am.
Yeah. And last night when we were at Mandalay after dinner, you're like, no Jim Beam. I'm like, what?
I know.
Holy
Who is this girl? Not a lot anymore. I ended up with long COVID, which is, something I'm still working through. Feel pretty great. But on these different, herbs, minerals, supplements, rest, weight loss, all of it, but a lot of meditation, a lot of acupuncture, and different ways of looking at inflammation. I think I had that, for a long time, even before COVID, and I didn't know what it was. Where, you as a woman, you bloat, you do all this, like, all these unflattering things.
Yeah, we do it too.
Yes. And you're like, what the hell is happening to me? And, you just kind of chalk it up. Well, I ate too much of that. But it's really, for me, I noticed processed foods was affecting me a lot, even before I had long COVID. So I started to back off from that. And that was another reason why I started cooking for the band, because I just needed to be in an Airbnb where I could cook my own foods. I've loved this experience being here in Vegas, but last night I was eating pasta and I've been on keto. So I broke the norm. and I can feel it. My fingers are all puffy this morning. I'm like, of course I'm going to go on camera. But you feel it right away. And it's a choice for me. But now that I'm having these different, I don't want to call them rules, but different outlooks of how to eat, rest, apply my time, my personal time. And that does mean resting the mind. I just notice this vibrancy about me.
Yeah.
I feel younger. I feel lighter. I feel more present. So I'm like kind of addicted to that now, which is a good thing.
Well, and like we were talking about that sugar.
Sugar is a bad thing. You don't even know
Sugar.
you're getting that much sugar.
Yep.
Salad dressings, sauces, all of it. So you think, well, I'm not having sweets. No, but sugars and breads, sugars and sauces. So you really are having cups of sugar.
Right. Well, here's the other thing.
Long, you didn't even know.
Here's the other thing. I don't know if you know this, but eating carbs, your liver turns that into sugar.
That's why I know bread. That's it. I mean, I'm not doing any of the whites.
Yep.
White rices, white flours, white bread, and no bread really at this point. You can have a little bit of sourdough on keto.
Yeah.
But we're actually, I would think I was telling you, I'm taking some classes, some holistic healing classes, and they're making it from scratch.
Well, just wait till you talk to Vinny, and you're gonna want to not even go there.
Probably not.
And so let's wrap it up because I know you do have to go. Tiffany, thank you so much. I'm gonna tell you guys, this is one of the stories I always tell everybody back home. They're like, no, what's Tiffany like? Well, this is Tiffany. We were on the patio at the Rainbow, and it was end of the night. Bieber's coming around. 5 minutes, everybody, 5 minutes. And he walked right by us. I go, don't you know who she was? And she did the fake. And she laughed her ass off. She bust balled. That's exactly.
Yeah, you got to roll with it.
Exactly. That's what it's all about.
I'm gonna be.
And then,
I'm finished,
then
man.
you're leaving, and you're in this long black Suburban, tinted out windows rolled down. This is who I am, bitch.
I don't remember that. Must have been a beam night.
It was a beam night. It was a night at the Rainbow. What do you expect?
Good life now.
Tiffany, thank you. Cheers. Always
Cheers,
great
babe.
to see you. You're always
great to see
welcome.
you.
And hit me up next time you're in town.
Awesome. Thanks, guys.